Hi everybody, it's Sharon from Blessed Craft Designs. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to show you this cute little thing that you see a lot now. I've been seeing it on Pinterest. It's floating around on Facebook and kind of Instagram. And it's the carrots, the wreath carrots made out of tulips. But I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna make mine using roses. So I did this one. This is actually the second one that I made. I don't really like this one. I don't like the way that it turned out. But the first one that I did was with roses. And I actually put it on my door at work, and probably about 15-20 minutes after I put it up, somebody wanted it. So I don't have it anymore, and I want to make another one. I do love this one with the tulips. I think it's really pretty. But I also like the roses. So I'm going to show you that. I am going to do another video with me making just kind of a little small one with tulips. And that one is going to be really inexpensive, but it won't be with this color. It's going to be more of a springy versus kind of the carrot shape. So just hang on, and I'm going to show you how to make this cute little carrot wreath for your door, but we're going to use roses instead. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Let me show you the supplies that I'm using. First, I have 3 bunches of these pretty orange and kind of yellow ombre, just a little bit of yellow, not much. Roses that I have already gone ahead and I've cut one of the bunches off, and I do leave the stem a little long. I try to cut it all the way down, okay, as you can see here. And I do cut the leaves off. I don't use the leaves. The first one that I did, I used all the leaves. I didn't take any of the leaves off, excuse me. And this one, I do have some of the leaves on there. I just cut off the second one. There's 2 of them on each stem. So I just cut off the other one. And you very well can do that to all of them if you want. You just take a pair of scissors and snip this off. So I'll kind of see how that looks. I think I want that one on the top. You will need some kind of floral wire. I use this one, which you've seen me use this before, which is the 30 gauge wire. But I kind of thought this was a little too thin when I made it and didn't stabilize it enough. So I did go and buy the 22 gauge. I'm gonna see if that works. I did use floral wire, not wire, but the tape. I didn't really like the way this worked. But if all else fails, you can use some Chanel stems. I do have this. Maybe I might cover up the back of it with this. But I also have this, and I use to kind of make it flat on the back. I don't know if I'll do it this time. I'm just going to see, but I have used this. And of course, you're going to need your ribbon. You're going to need something to make the top part with. These I found at Michael's. They were on sale 50% off, and I'll just use one. And doesn't that look like the top of a carrot? Okay, so that's really cute. I have, I think, 2 of those. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And the first thing you're gonna do is, like I said, you're gonna have to cut your very first bunch. Now, you should use, I'm going to say, at least 3 or more bunches, whether you use roses or tulips. The more you use, the bigger that it will be. I think on the one that I showed you was just 2, but I bought 3 for this one. And I like the roses. I do like this part, but if you don't, you can cut this off of there, but I actually like just a little bit of greenery on there. So you're gonna put your roses together. You're gonna grab 3, and you're gonna put them together like this. You want it to, I want one that's kind of, not really blooming as much, or I shouldn't say blooming, but one that's kind of together a little bit more, like it hasn't been manipulated as much. And I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna make that the center point, and then the other two. So you grab 3, just like this, and then you're gonna grab your wire and wrap this around. Let me turn it this way. And you wanna wrap this really good. I wanna try to keep it as flat as I possibly can, but you're gonna wrap that really good. Okay. I don't have any hot glue right now. I don't think I'm gonna need it, but if I do, then I'll go back and then I'll grab that. Okay, so this is how you make your first one. All right, so you have the 1 and then the 2 on the side, and then you grab 3, and these 3, they're going to be kind of like that because you want it to start to fan out. So you're going to lay it up against here, and don't worry about if the stems are going opposite directions right now, because we're going to fix that in a minute. I just want to make sure that this next row, this is one, that's the first row, the second row, the third row is a little bit lower than the other one, okay? Because you kind of want that graduated effect, sort of. So once I have them where I want to go, I'm going to grab my wire and once again start to twist this around. Okay, and again, and I like this. I think this gauge works really well versus that 30. It just didn't stabilize it enough. Okay, so now you have your third row, and we're going to continue to do the same thing. It gets a little tricky as we go along, so I might have to sit this down. But I don't want to, if you want it tight like that, I guess you can, but I don't like it when it's tight at the top. That is probably a personal preference. I think it works a little bit better if it's more loose. You do have to kind of maintain that it, you know, it's flat on the bottom because you want it to be flat against the door. And that is one reason why I used this one time, because that actually kind of helped make it flat a little bit. So I very well may do that, but we're just gonna see. But you gotta, again, kind of see how you want it. All right, do you see that? And if I hold it this way, okay, grab your wire again, and start to twist this around. You do have to kind of hold it pretty good, because if you let it go, then the whole thing just, it will kind of unravel on you. So let's cut this off and then we can fix it. Make sure you're tucking the ends of your wire. You don't want those to stick out. And then you can kind of manipulate this a little bit. Just make sure you have all of this fastened down really good, because you can pull this out, okay? And so now we have the last 4. And I'm going to fan these out just a little bit more. And they do have the wire in it, so you can do that, all right? You can fan these out just a little bit more. Again, I'm trying to maintain the back of it to be flat as much as possible. It's kind of easier to do this, not if I wasn't holding it, but that looks pretty good. Okay. cut this about right here. All right, and then we're gonna wrap this around. Okay, and then you can start fluffing it up a little bit more. So see how that looks already? All right, it's already starting to look like a carrot. So then you're gonna take your other one, and you need to try to get it flat. And I very well may cut off some more of these leaves. And then once you flatten it, you take this part that you just made and lay it just like that. Okay, let me lay it down flat on here because it looks a little bit better. So when you're trying to hold it, when I'm trying to hold it up, it doesn't look right. Okay, but you can see that carrot effect. It's starting to take its shape. And I think I am going to cut this. So let me go cut these real quick because I don't want you to sit here and watch me doing that. I'm going to cut some of the bottom leaves off of here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I've cut off the bottom part of the leaves and the bottom row of leaves, and now I'm just kind of trying to get this to flatten out a little bit. So you have the little bunch that you've made already to get it started with. And again, you can move these around, you know, and they will move around. We'll need something to kind of hold it a little bit more, but we'll get to that in just a second. So you got to flatten this out, and you flatten out your bunch. And what I would like to do is kind of the ones that are in the middle, I'm going to lay these down flat to kind of see where I want these other ones to go, because these are the ones we're going to catch. I'm going to move these up just a little bit more. I moved them down. I'm going to move them up a little bit more because I kind of want to catch this bunch in the middle, just a couple there. And then you'll be able to bring those up on the side like that. So what I'm going to do first is wire these in the middle. Okay, so I just cut a little piece of wire, probably more than I need. Okay, and then just twist this around. Oh, came loose. Okay, so I'm just twisting the middle part of this bunch. I'm just attaching this part. Okay. Again, make sure your wires aren't sticking out everywhere. We don't want anyone to get stuck. Okay, so once you do that, then you can pull in the ones that are on the sides. And if you need to adjust it, you can. See, I can kind of move it up and down like that. So if you need to adjust it, you can do that. Okay, and this is one reason why you want to leave that initial bouquet of stems, you want to leave them long. Okay, so if you pull them together like that, so you already have your carrot shape. And again, I'm trying to keep it flat. I'm going to cut another piece of wire here, if I can. And we are are going to twist this around. Kind of make sure these don't come loose. So I'm gonna go up and around. Okay, and then we can kind of start fluffing that out and flatten it out. Okay, so our last bunch, you're going to do the same thing. You kind of have to flatten it just a little bit. But we want to spread this one out just so, fan it out just a little bit more. Okay, and that's how it's gonna kind of look. I think I'm gonna pull these up just a little bit more. And then you're gonna lay these down there. Now, if you want it wider, you don't have to secure it like that, because then it's gonna be too taut. So you do kind of want to let it sway open a little bit. So let's get our wire here. Just cut a piece. And I'm going to grab, here's the base of that second one. And just around a couple of these and go through here. I guarantee this is a little bit easier when you're doing it on your own versus, you know, me trying to kind of show you how to do it. It's a little hard to hold this in place. All right, so I'm just finding a good spot to try to pull this together. Again, I don't want it to be tight. I want it to be loose. So let me do it here. Okay, so that's kind of how I want it to be. I just have to secure it up here a little bit more. I don't think I have enough wire. There we go. And I'm going to take a piece up through here, just because I don't want this to fall through. So I'm just going through one of the stems. I can get it to go through there. Okay, and then I did it on the other side as well. Okay, and to kind of attach it a little bit more. So flatten it out. And now this is where the first time I did put this up underneath there, but I don't really like the way that looks. So you can take this if you like. And this is where I would need just a little bit of hot glue. And that will kind of cover that a little bit more also. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I had to go get my hot glue gun because now I'm just trying to stabilize it a little bit in the back. So what I've done is I took a piece, this is just some kind of burlap ribbon, and I put that along the back part, and again, that kind of, not only does it hold it, but it hides some things, and I hot glued that. So then I'm just attaching this bottom part down here, and then I'm gonna wrap that in just a little bit of the burlap ribbon as well. And let's put another glue stick in here because I am gonna use my glue gun. That's one thing, since this is the third one that I've done, that I've found is just trying to make sure it's gonna stay together, because it is, you're kind of graduating it a little bit. And unfortunately, your stems from the first bunch are not long enough to go all the way down. You may know how to build it. I don't know how to do that, but you may know how to do that. So I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue back here. And let's put a little bit in between here, because I don't want this, you know, it's gonna be hanging up on the door. I don't want it to come down. And this glue is hot, hot, hot. Okay. So I do keep flattening it just a little bit. And we're gonna wrap this really good. Put just a little bit more hot glue right there. And then I'm gonna take it all the way up to the top, well, almost. Because the only thing that I'm missing now, you can see how that is my greenery. So let's get that on there really quick. Okay, I broke that off trying to, let's use this one, and this time, how about I cut it off? Okay, so we want our carrot top to go up here, and I want it to fall, that's kind of like the back. I want it to fall evenly, and I want it to come to the front. Okay, so make sure I have the front of the carrot, which will be there. And I can bring that down just a little bit. And then see, we're gonna go, we can hide that with this. So I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue here. Get a little piece of my wire. I already have one cut. Put that down right on top of there. I'm gonna take my wire first. Try to go around here just a little bit. And I could have used a bigger piece of wire. Let's do that. I'm gonna go all the way up to the top, kind of crisscross it a little bit. Okay, and then we can take this burlap ribbon generous with the glue. And now we can wrap this. Just be real careful with that hot glue. So now you can see this part is done. Now all I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a bow to put on here. Okay, so I'm gonna make a really big bow to put there, and then I'm gonna show you how to put the hook on there, okay? Okay, everybody, I'm back. And let me show you what I did. I decided to, like I showed you before, I decided to stabilize this a little bit more just with the green burlap. And you can see how I've twisted and I've hot glued that really good. I've twisted some more of this green around there, hot glued really good once again. And everything is stable. I'm holding this up. I don't think it's gonna move now. And that's one of the main things you gotta make sure. You need to pick it up and make sure nothing should drop out of it, okay? So that may take a little bit of work, and that's one of the things that I found with the other two that I made, is just making sure that nothing's gonna fall out when you hang it up. So I've gone ahead and I've made my, this is gonna be the hook, what I use for the, just a little hook. It's a piece of this burlap ribbon right here. What I suggest you do is to kind of put your thumb there, go hang it up and see how far or how much. I don't want mine to stick out very much from the hook, so that's why my loop is going to be kind of short. But you see, I cut quite a bit off because I wasn't quite sure, so make sure you do that. And my bow, you've seen me make these bows before. I did it with the, I think it was the lantern, and a couple other things where I just take and, you know, I have all this stuff and it looks a hot mess when you first make it, but once you start fluffing it out, it looks really good. And the reason why I want to make a big bow is because this is a lot of area, and I don't want it, let me move my hot glue gun. This is kind of a lot of area to fill in. So I need to make sure I have a really big bow. And I want lots of streamers, and I'll cut all of these out. Well, lots of tails, excuse me, not streamers. But lots of tails. I put in some of these little curly cues to kind of stick out. Just to, you know, add a little something different in here inside my bow. You can, that's optional. You just decide how you want to do that. And then you're going to fluff it out. But I wanted all of this ribbon because I want to make sure you can't really see all of that part that I have in the back, okay? So I want my ribbon to take up a lot of that room. So I just tied it with a Chanel stem, and then you just go to the back where I need to be. My table is a mess now. And while I'm doing this on the front, I'm gonna go ahead and use some of that to attach my, this is where my hook. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue right here. Let's put this down. I'm gonna press that a little bit, and then I can bring my bow. And I'm going to twist that really good. Okay. And then once you flip it back over, then you're going to fix your bow a little bit more and get everything going in the direction that you want them to go. But again, we needed to fill in that space, so that's why I want to like, and I'm going to cut these down. I'll show you this in just a minute, but I'll cut it down and work on this bow a little bit more, just a little bit more, just to fill in that space. And if you would like to, you could even do 2 really big bows. But as you can see, this turned out really, really cute. I love this. It does take a little bit of work. It's not gonna be one of those, this probably is not a 30-minute deal. This might take you a little bit longer, just trying to make sure you secure it and that you're getting it all flat on the back. Okay, so I'm gonna finish doing this and I'm gonna hang it up and let you see what it looks like. Okay, everyone, here is my semi-final carrot, rose carrot, I guess you call it that. The other one is a tulip carrot, so this is a rose carrot. Okay, so this part right here is still gonna take some work as far as getting that shape of a carrot that I want, but I don't think that's a big deal. It's just gonna take some kind of moving around of the flowers and everything to get them to fall the way I want. That looks pretty good right there, depending on what angle you're looking at it. The greenery around here, I did have to trim it because it came literally all the way down, which was too much. And I've been trimming that bow a little bit, and that's why you see I wanted a big bow to cover that space that I had right there. And I love these little curlicues. Again, that's just some chenille stems, 2 chenille stems. I put them together in the middle and then just twirl them on my finger, and that's how you make those little curlicues to go in there. So I think that's really cute, and it just kind of brings out the orange. This ribbon right here, y'all, I don't know, I'm beginning to think that this ribbon is never ending because I've used it for about 3 or 4 projects now, and I still have plenty on the roll, and I'm trying to figure out where did I get this ribbon from. So it's really coming in handy right about now. If you have made one of these, please come to my my group page, which is Wreath Designers Network, and post a picture. There have been a couple of people already that have posted pictures of theirs. Also on Pinterest. I'm gonna put this on Pinterest, so you can also put your photo up there that you've tried it as well. Let me know what kind of things you did to make this work a little bit better. I'm gonna make at least I know 1 more of these. So just trying to figure out this back part. I don't know, I would love to kind of hear how other people are making that work, or try to see what other people are doing. But please join me on Facebook, which is Bless the Craft Designs, our Wreath page, which is Wreath Designers Network, Pinterest, I am Bless the Craft. Post your pictures, your comments. I thank you all for continuing to follow my page, and I really hope that you all are trying these at home, because like I've said before, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me on that one. I thank you again for joining me today, and as always, be blessed.